Hi everyone, welcome to Stampin' Gala. I'm Julie Gilson and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Today I'm going to show you how to create this adorable birthday card that I created with Stampin' Up's Piece of Cake stamp set. To get started, I used Melon Mambo and it's 11 by 4 1/4 and it's scored at 5 1/2. If you notice on my card, I have 2 layers of Whisper White. And I'm going to pull those in. One of them is 5 1/4 by 4, and the other one is 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. The smaller one I embossed with our Subtles embossing folder. I'm going to snail these two together and attach them to the card. Now I will have all the dimensions on my blog at stampinggala.com, as well as the products that I used. So after you visit this video, you can hop on over to my blog and I'll have that there for you. We're going to attach this to the front of the card. Just like this. And I also get questions about why I layer 2 Whisper Whites together. And the answer to that is I really like the look of it. It looks more finished, and secondly, when you emboss a layer of Whisper White, sometimes it seems to curl a little bit, so by placing another Whisper White under it, it keeps it flatter and it just looks a lot nicer. Okay, so the next pieces I'm going to pull in are a piece of Melon Mambo. This is Melon Mambo Designer Series paper in the 6x6 Designer Series paper pack, and then this one is the Lemon Lime Twist in the In Color paper pack. So I'm just going to snail these down to the Melon Mambo to create the background. Now, I did create this card. I designed this card for my Breakfast Club class, which I hold every Saturday morning. And if you're local to the Canton, Michigan area, I would love to have you join me as my guest. It's a whole lot of fun, and we make a beautiful card, and it looks just like this when you go home. Now what I'm going to do is just, excuse me, take a piece of our Lemon Lime Ombre ribbon. I'm going to put some snail on the back here to attach it to, and just wrap it around. And take my dimensionals and put that on here. Excuse me, I've been fighting a cold. Taking the tops off, and then we're going to place it right in the center of the front of the card. I love our dimensionals because of the height of them. They're not real thick. There we go. I think it's a little bit crooked, and I don't like that too much. There, that's better. Okay, so now I'm going to bring in this, and I ran this through the Big Shot with our layering oval dies. I'm just going to put that aside for a second. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp the birthday candles right up here with Versamark, and we're going to, then we're going to actually cut it out with the Big Shot and the stitched framelets. Stitch shaped, I should say. Okay, so I just put sprinkled silver embossing powder on it, and we're going to heat this up. You never want to overheat it because it can burn. And then I'm going to run it through the Big Shot just like this. You want those candle or the candy centered towards the top from side to side. So I'm going to just run this through the Big Shot. I'll be right back. Okay, so this is how it's going to look. We're going to pop this out. Okay, and then what's going to happen is we're going to take another piece of scratch paper and we're going to stamp the cake plate as well as the cake itself. Okay, stamp this, and then we'll stamp the cake plate. All right, let me show you my embossing powder. I'm using the silver embossing powder. Just sprinkle it on there, click off the remainder, and we're going to heat this. Embossing always impresses people. It's such a fun technique. I absolutely love it. Okay, so we're using Lemon Lime Twist, and we're just going to use the ink for a palette, and we're just going to color this in really quickly. And I'll show you how I shaded it just a little bit, all on the left-hand side. I just kind of added some more color just on the left. Okay, and then I'm going to change to the Melon Mambo. Let me get this out of the way. I'm going to color in the circles here. I should have done the Melon Mambo first, but it really doesn't matter. This is such a fun stamp set, and I didn't think I would like it as much as I do. But after I made this card, I have to admit, I thought it was so cheerful. It just made me smile when I looked at it. So what I'm doing is just doing every other stripe, and I'm going to come back with the Lemon Lime Twist. I'm going to put a couple of stripes on here. All you do, let me do some of these since I have this out. And all I'm doing is like every other one of the candy, just giving it some color. Okay. All right, now I'm going to clean it off, and then I just have to do the Lemon Lime Twist again. And see, I'll bring this in the camera. All I'm using is the top of the ink pad. Just getting some ink in there, and it works just perfectly. And I'm using the blender pen, by the way, if you haven't used one of these before. I like it because it's a double-ended pen, and it's perfect for just this little bit of coloring, and you can see it has both ends you can use. One thing I want to caution you about is you want to, when you're using a blender pen, make sure when you're done you get all of the, you put the cap right back on. There is some kind of chemical inside the pen that is wet, and that's what helps to apply the ink. Okay. Okay, see what I mean? These are so cute. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is just clean this off, bring in my punch. I'm gonna punch out the cake plate itself. All right, and then I'll move over and punch out the cake. Okay, so there's that. And I did run some offline, and I'll show you what I'm gonna do here. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the cake first, add some dimensionals to the back. I'm gonna add 3 just so they're nice and secure on the back. Okay, just push them down, make sure that they're good to go. I'm just taking the tops off. I'm gonna line this up right here. The good thing about doing it this way is you don't have to be precise when you're stamping, because you're placing it all together afterwards and you can get it straight there. I'm gonna add some snail to the back, or you know what, I'm gonna add some glue. It's easier. All right, so I'm just using our Tombow glue, putting a couple of dots on here, if I can get it to work here. Of course I can't. I guess I am gonna use my snail. Okay. We're gonna place this right here, making certain that it's even on both sides. Okay. Turn it over and put some dimensionals on it. Oh no, I didn't do dimensionals. I'm gonna just put snail. The dimensionals are behind the Melon Mambo scallops oval right here. So I'm putting this on. Okay, now the dimensionals. And I want to tell you why I put that strip of ribbon on here instead of tying it in a bow like I usually do. And I'll show you as soon as I place this down. If I were to tie a bow, what would happen is the bow would end up right here and it doesn't look so cute. So what I'm gonna do is tie a separate bow. Okay, and I just use my fingers to tie my bows. Okay, just like that. I'm gonna trim off the ends and we'll attach it with a glue dot. What I think Stampin' Up! Does best is the color coordination. It always looks so good, color coordinated. Okay, so we're gonna put this down right here. So there's the bow for you. See what I mean? It looks nicer there than there. Now for the inside. Inside is so cute. Let me close these up. So I'm going to use this stamp that's called Enjoy Every Crumb, the sentiment there. I'm gonna tack this down. Okay, so we'll bring that in, and I do want to use my Stampin' Pierce mat because they're photopolymer. And I'm gonna stamp this about in the middle. So again, I'm gonna use the Versamark. Okay, make sure I have it right side up. And I wanna make sure I get this straight. Okay, so now add the embossing powder, and then we're gonna heat. Okay, now what I love, I have this one to put on. Like I said, I did one ahead of time, so I had an extra one. We're gonna first put this as if it's on the cake plate, or it's like a layer on the cake plate, okay? And then this one we're gonna snail down as well. Now, I'm not putting dimensionals on this because it's the inside of the card, and you don't want to have that bulk on the inside of the card. Okay, so that's how the inside is gonna look. And I'm gonna snail it to an additional piece of Whisper White. See how it's curling up? That's from using the heat tool. So that's another reason why I use a second piece of Whisper White. It just holds it together nicely. So we'll get this even on the bottom and on the sides, and then we'll just kind of walk it up, okay? So there you go. There's the inside. I'm going to snail this down to the inside of the card now. And there you have it. There is your birthday piece of cake card. I hope you enjoy it as much as I do, and I hope you visit my blog often at stampinggala.com. I will have a link in the bottom of this video to my blog, which will have all the dimensions for what you saw on the card today. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day. Bye-bye.